Afternoon, everyone. It's Tuesday afternoon at 5:45, and this is your closing comment. It's video number 404. Okay, so since this morning's video, we had the ISM numbers, which came in at 56. What was expected was 54.1, and of course, expansion is at 50, so the number was fairly healthy. Construction spending on the other side was not. It was expected to be up 1%, and in fact, it was only up 1/10 of 1%. But that clearly did not stop the market, not any of the indexes, all of which were up today. Dow up 216 or 3/4%. The NASDAQ, another brand new high by a long distance, 164.21, up 1.4%. At one point today, the Dow and the NASDAQ were both up the same thing, except that the Dow is well over twice what the NASDAQ is. S&P, another new high, up 26.34, 0.75%. And after taking a shellacking for a couple of days, the Russell was up 1671, 1.07, and the transports were coming back to life again, up 131.34 or 1.7%. I hate to say it, but the market internals were not what you'd call spectacular. Both the NYSE and the NASDAQ were both 9 to 5 higher. However, volume was down. Now, even though Apple is not the big gun in the Dow anymore, it is still 7.3% of the S&P, and it closed 134 and change, up 514 or 4%. The rest of that group being Netflix, up 5% at 556.55, up just under 27. Walmart, on the news of their Walmart Plus, which is $98 a year, free delivery for things like groceries over $35, sent that one substantially higher. Also, new all-time high, closed $147.59, up $8.74 or 6.3%. And here's one you not recognize in red. Tesla closed 475, down 23.27, 4.7%. That's the third time in the last 3 weeks that Tesla was actually down. And in point of fact, they had to say that they were going to issue $5 billion worth of stock in order to take a little bit of the bloom off the rose. The fact of the matter is it traded over 500 today, and in the early morning trade it was higher than that. DocuSign, 268.80, up 45.80 or 20%. And of course, the one that everybody is talking about, Zoom, 457.69, up 132.59, 41%. That is amazing. In fact, it closed fairly close to the high of the day when you consider the distance that it came. The high was, I believe, 478. Okay, I want to show you what happens when a market goes parabolic. And so the chart on the screen is lumber. I've discussed it a bunch of times. I wrote it up in the weekly insights on Sunday night, and was calling for a little bit of a pullback here. This is a weekly chart. After this run, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 week run, from 350 to 859. We topped out, turned down, and have been down $19 each of the last 2 days. So basically, in just under a week, we've gone from 859 to 728. That's $131 a running board foot lower on lumber. I've discussed all of the reasons why, but you know, one of two things is going to happen here, and you already know which way I lean. Either lumber is going to get cheaper, or housing is going to get dramatically more expensive. Between copper and lumber, prices are just sky high, but again, the lumber seems to be coming down. Another one that I want to just show you, because it was part of my special situation report on Sunday. We had the chart and my thoughts about it. Coffee. And I'll use the coffee weekly chart. I'll give you a little bit more perspective, though, so you can get a better idea. Now, I drew this downtrend line from a distance ago. We broke out here. All of the moving averages turned up. The 5-day went through the 20, the 50, the 100, and the 200. And basically, where we are right now is above everything with the exception of this one close at 132.50. And today we closed right near the high, 131.40, with a high of 132.70. So although this is a slightly higher high, minuscule. We did close awfully close, and once we get through there, this is $1.40, $1.42. What we're using here is JO, which is an ETN, like an ETF, and it traded just under 40 when we first started with this in this area. Go back to the daily. In this area, we were talking about $30 on this breakout. So we went from 30 to 39 on this one, came back in, and we traded 39.80 today. Oil was a little up 15 cents at 42.76. The gold was kind of a disappointment today. It broke out and was particularly strong. And then what happened was the dollar, which made a new low, and I'll go to that next. The dollar, which made a new low, turned back to the upside, and our gold, after being up at 2001 and change, came all the way back down. Now, it did close. Well, it closed basically unchanged, up 30 cents on a $1,900 or $2,000 commodity. Really doesn't mean much, but it was near the low. And unless we consolidate across and hold this area at 1950, we may be in for a little bit of trouble. Although, with the reliability of the US dollar for the last 6 months, I'm not really sure that we can have that much trouble. So here's the dollar. It got down to 91.75 and bounced back up. Closed almost on the high and up 20 cents on the day, as you can see. So we're set up again. Same situation that we had here. Same situation that we had there. We'll see if we can get through these highs at 93.40 or so, or if we can even get through 93. So That's what turned the gold down. It did not turn the Bitcoin down. It was up 240 after trading over 12,000. And we'll have to see how it works in the morning. This market is, from my perspective, really getting so dramatically oversold and so narrow. Um, uh, Most of the S&P stocks are actually, except for the big ones, are actually down 5%. So, it's difficult, and the momentum keeps feeding on itself, and the fear of missing out keeps feeding on itself, and the public keeps coming in. And all of those things are basically the sign of a top. All right, everyone, have a good evening, and I'll be back first thing in the morning.